Okay, this is a test. Had a little technical challenge at the beginning here. So, Sandra, let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear. Audio check on a scale of 1 to 10. Getting ready for the Forbidden History series. Okay, I think we're good. I don't know what happened. I think the computer got stale. And okay, good. Number 10. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, today is July 29th, 2018. Get ready for the Emergency Broadcast System, the Forbidden History series. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Time to call your friends, ladies and gentlemen. We now interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this very important deprogramming program. And special thanks to YouTube.com for hosting the Forbidden History series. Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as medical nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way twice a day, 7 days a week, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network, because somebody's got to do it, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why we're here. Stand by for the broadcast. Still time to call your friends. Hello, LC. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, and Free America Radio Network on the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History series, the great lies of history, the words that kill, symbolism, the duality revealed in pictures and patterns, the ABCs of light, our standard book review, the piracy of words. It's all right here. We are the deprogramming program, ladies and gentlemen, and we're just happy that we can do it, you know? And that's basically what all of you are about too. I know that. You're looking up, you got eyes to see, and it is the battle for the mind. Truth is light. Ignorance is darkness. And these are the great antagonists, the one against the other. You know, once we can begin to comprehend the true nature of things, then we can begin to comprehend that there is nothing really more to complain about, because this world stinks, ladies and gentlemen. It stinks up to that chemical sky up above and all the way down to the chemical drenched soil beneath our feet. It stinks. It stinks what people that have the potential to be great choose instead to be betrayers of their own nation, their own planet, their own soul. But if we can find the lies, then we can find the truth. The best way to identify the truth is to identify those lies and those liars. It's the duality of the matrix that we reveal. And the one who doesn't want to know the truth is merely a slave who doesn't want to be free. And if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there. And I say good luck. And welcome to the Forbidden History series, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm your host, Desert Owl, a bird who sees in the night and is just got too much of an eye filled. And I really feel sorry for this world. You'll know the truth, and the truth will make you a fugitive. Okay, what more do we need to say? Once you know the truth, you're on your own. Okay, on your own. Sorry to tell you, the individual is handicapped by coming face to face with a conspiracy that is so monstrous and so great he cannot accept that it even exists. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? You think it's true? I think it's true. Did you tell your friends about the broadcast? Well, I hope so, because we got a long way to go, short time to get there, and with the lies that are so great mounted against us, it's just amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing a review right now of the movie called Extinction. Officially came out the 27th, I guess, celebration of the full moon eclipse or something like that. And so I'm amazed at these movies I've watched that are supposedly predictive programming, but they're all B-rated. I guess really, Hollywood has closed shop and they're using so much animation and B-rated actors now. It's just amazing. But Extinction, it's just another version of the other version. It's the boogeyman. It's the it's the what do I want to say? The aliens are coming to get you. So nothing different since the 1950s. It gives so more than anything, the title itself is a metaphor. Extinction, because they're telling us we're going down. And Rod Legendary, good to see you. I think it's first time you stopped by here, brother. So good to have you, LC. And so anyway, it's an interesting movie, but very poor you know production, pretty poor production. So but I'm gonna watch it anyway. And tomorrow night, gonna have on an old friend, law researcher, somebody that can help people make sense out of their dilemma if they're falling into legal challenges or traps. Then Melody's an expert in this area, and we talk about all the stuff with the legal sleaze. Okay, it's called Mel's Bar and Grill. It's where we bring the attorneys and we put them up on the spit. We barbecue them, and then I have mine thrown out the back door. And Ninja, good to have you. So yeah, so tomorrow night, that'd be 9 p.m. Eastern time, 1 hour with Mel's Bar and Grill, and then her good friend Alan David is going to be on Thursday night at 9, and he talks about the mystery number 5 and how the mystery number 5 is found within all of our world. It's an occultic number like 13 or what have you. Lynn, good to have you. Hope your week went well. And and that'll be that program is called The Introduction to the Ancient Cult of Five and its existence in our modern world, the Ancient Cult of Five. So that's Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time with Alan David. Okay. And I'll interview him. So yeah, I got a double play with my friends. I got him at one place. I could capture them real easy and get them on here. And then, I have a couple more friends I'd like to get with very important information, because it's also about helping. There's so many victims, by this beast system as we know it, and we need to make sense out of, protocols on how to respond to a world that wants to eat you alive. It's a machine. Forget about AI. The beast system is a machine in itself that takes a life of its own. So okay, so looking forward to that tomorrow. And symbolism, I have a few symbols here. Okay, before we get into I was thinking of doing a read in the Archovime after we do the Pirate Sea of Words. then the Archovium is just a treasure trove of ancient witness to the past of our Savior, coming to the world, and the priesthood. They saw all the miracles when he was born. Okay, they saw it, and they wrote it down. They took record of it. That was their job, to record anything that was of interest. And so it was full known, that Yeshua came to earth, that the Mashiach had come. But there was, of course, there was no popularity for it because the merchants had taken over Jerusalem, right? So anyway, let me get a little more light, and we'll get into the dragon colors. Okay, so let me some more light. All right, we'll see how that works. So the dragon, we can see the dragon when we look at the Pope in his mitre. That really funny looking mitre is called Dagon, and you throw an R in there as an anagram, and you get a dragon, and so Dagon is the dragoon. And what is the dragoon? It is the serpent. It is the snake, because it drags itself upon the ground. The dragoon. Okay, so a little definition here regarding dragon colors. The red dragon is the guardian of the higher science. The white dragon is a lunar dragon. That makes sense. These colors derive from the planets and the signs of the zodiac. In the Middle Ages in the West, dragons make their appearance with the throat and legs of an eagle, the body of a huge serpent, the wings of a bat, and with a tail culminating in an arrow, twisted back upon itself. This signifies the fusion and the confusion of the respective potentialities of the component parts. The eagle standing for its celestial potential, the serpent for its secret and mysterious subterranean characteristic, the wings for the intellectual elevation, and the tail. It is the zodiacal sign for Leo, for submission to reason. Only he who conquers his own dragon serpent becomes the hero. The green dragon is a symbol of that which is yet unseen or undigested. And then I have one more, the universal dragon. Then I have in paren above it, zodiac, Mercury, woman, serpent, water. The universal dragon is all of creation that spins, okay? Everything is serpent. It's also called Catholicos Ophis. Well, there's the word Catholic, Catholicos. Wow. And it means the true creative woman. And we got two women that we're dealing with, the whore and the virgin. And they've been at battle with each other. So, that's a great mystery, ladies and gentlemen, for sure. Okay, and so let's get into the words some more, shall we? Let me pull out those words that kill, the pirate sea of words. And by the way, if you have a great lie of history, okay, I know that people out there know some of those lies of history that they were taught. Maybe these are things more contemporary. I'm in the older class, but maybe there's some other lies that I've not been privy to. And so feel free to call in, okay, if you or if you have a comment or question, 608-566-7295. That's 608-566-7295. Okay, and then the Skype is Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. And that's still says in Kingsland, Georgia. So we're in the letter C, and we're on change. There we are with that wonderful change again. We can't seem to escape it. It's either the chains that they put around your legs with the leg iron, or it may mean the couple pennies that you have left in your pocket. That may be the change they were talking about. I always thought we were supposed to protect and preserve whatever it is that had been given to us as an institution, you know, or divine right or anything of that nature. And instead, they want to change everything. Sounds like communist agenda there, right? To change. They always in their speeches always say, "We're going to have change." Change. We never tell you what kind of change it's going to be, but we're going to have change anyway. Heil Hitler. So change one is transforming one thing into something else completely. That's change. Two, code word for the new old world order. Smell it. Three, chains. CHAINS. You weren't listening. Four, cambium in Latin, the exchange, the substitution of one thing for another. Five, code for chance. Six, buzzwords first coined by the CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, in their 1992 annual report by Leslie Gelb. Then President Leslie Gelb, in the opening letter of their annual report, circa 1992. Since then, all politicians had to follow his lead in their opening speeches and use the coin word change, the buzzword chains, in all of their acceptance and other speeches to show that they were on track and in the game, baby, for the change. Then they started using the buzzwords in commercials till everyone now was using the mantra change, change, change. Got change? Hey, buddy, got a dime you can spare? Change. We're going to have change. I bet you do. I bet I have a few pennies left in my pocket too. Now that's what I call real change. What you have left after they take everything from you. Want more change? Don't worry, it's coming, if it hasn't already met you. See diminitude.org. DHIMMITUDE.org. Diminitude. Chilling effect. The chilling effect. Okay? That's when they put you in the water and let you stay there until you begin to freeze to death. That's called a chilling effect. You'll talk. Yep. One, the shock of treatment the treatment you will be in for and got when the beast system comes knocking at your door. Two, being pulled over by flashing lights as if it were really an emergency. You know, like your tail light is out. Woo! Woo! All right, buddy, get down on the floor. I'm sorry? Three, I better continue here. Placed in a very cold cell till you break. That's the chilling effect, okay? And then C, emerging C. So the chilling effect, you know, the first chilling effect is when they turn on all those lights. Woo, 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 got sirens going on. You think somebody just died, and you had a tail light out. And then now you got a guy with a gun and all this equipment ready to kick butt and conquer the front line, and you're just trying to get home and have dinner. Claim. Yeah, the claim could be the clam, because nobody gets into the claim. If you got a claim, you're standing pretty good, Bubba. They don't have a claim. That's the problem. You ask them right there, may I have your name, please? And do you have a claim against me? And they will shake in their boots. They can't have a claim. It's a bankruptcy. It's a charade, ladies and gentlemen. So claim could be clam. Then I said sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea, you and me. We're just happy as change. Ching, ching, your mind, okay? Change your mind, ladies and gentlemen. And code means secret. So when they're talking about United States Code, well, that's not the law. They got the people to think it was the law, and they got them referring to the wrong thing. They just codified all the laws and misdirected everybody because it's the source that you always need. The original, that which is first, which is superior. Cognates, cognates, words that have similar spelling and meaning in two or more languages or systems. See connected. Okay, and then colored, having the appearance of something that is not. Having the appearance of something that it is not. See red, white, and blue. Okay, colored, having the appearance of something that it is not. That means it's colored. That's what they talk about when they talk about the color of law. That the United States British Corporation in a box that we see operating today out there on the high seas, aka the roads, are actually a foreign corporation that is here to enforce the bankruptcy of the United deflated states of America. So, so anyway, there's our words that they killed us with, ladies and gentlemen. I'm always excited to share that with you. They did kill us, and I think a word. I'll see if it's in my printed version of the Real Da Vinci Code Dictionary. Let me see here. QRSTUST. Looking for that infamous word WQRSTUV. Getting close. Okay, there it is. Yep, that infamous. Yes, I understand everything. No, you don't understand anything. You don't want to understand, ladies and gentlemen, because if, according to Bouvier's Law Dictionary that's used by the Supreme Court, if you've got understanding, then the definition for understanding is those persons who want understanding are idiots, lunatics, drunkards, and infants. Okay, so which one do you want to be? Idiot, lunatic, drunkard, or infant? So I don't think you understand anything, nor do you want to understand anything if you have half a brain about you. Okay, so anyway, I'm looking for. I've got one hard copy of my Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary, and that's a story for another day, I guess. But I'm flipping here, looking for something, see if I can find something I wrote. I've got. You can get a copy, by the way. Okay, you can get a copy by any size donation. You know, you can get the 300-page PDF version, and when I'm referring to it, you can be following along. Okay, so just any size donation, and after the program, I can get it to you by email. Okay, PDF file. And if you don't have the funny money, I'll get it to you anyway. How about that? So I'm looking through here. It's got so much stuff in here. It's just absolutely amazing. Anyway, I'm not finding it, so I'll get on with. Forgive me, I should have been a little more prepared with that, but what the heck? It's the end of the world anyway, right? I guess we can get away with it. I'm in the Arco volume, and we've got Gamaliel. He was a priest, a Levitical priest, and he did an interview with Joseph and Mary and others concerning the birth of Yeshua. What I'm going to do, I got to close this window. I'm going to go to a song, and I got to turn on the air conditioner. So stand by. Just give me about 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, you're tuned in to the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Okay, Rod, thank you. Glad you got that info. Way to go. Hello, Lou, the cat. Famous TV personality. Good to have you. And don't forget, if you're new to this broadcast, want to welcome you. And just say on June 21st, we did the premiere edition for this series called the Forbidden History Series, the latest run, the most important of them all, because I unloaded all the years of my study right out the gate in the first 2 weeks. I unloaded the big kahuna. So you've got to go back to the premiere edition and work your way forward while you're tuning into the live broadcast, but we'll get you up to speed. We've covered a lot of ground. And like I said, the time is short. I'm not going to repeat a lot of the things that I shared at the beginning. So you've got to follow through, and then you'll be better to figure out where we're at in the terminology that we're using. Mainly the Indo-Germanic is part of the revelation of what we need to see and read for ourselves. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you. Excited to hang out with such wonderful people and to share with all of you what has been so important for me all of my life. Collecting lost writings, the scriptures that they took from us. And they're not talking about it at the bullpit. Wonder why. Wonder why they don't embrace literature. What is wrong with literature? Okay, Rod. I don't remember what I said, but very good. I get confused between the chat room and over here, so forgive me. I get on a roll and I roll so fast I forget what I said 2 minutes ago. My brain is racing at 100 miles an hour. I've got 10 different trails I can go down, and I'm hoping I can get you to see what I'm seeing. So that's part of the great mystery here. So in chapter 5 of the Arco volume, and I did a review of the book. So like I say, you got to go back. And the good news is you got here in time, because we only started 4 weeks ago, and I took a week off after the first 2 weeks. So we've only got about 3 weeks of broadcasting right now. But I'm basically unloading. I load the shotgun and I throw out as much as I can into the program of what is the fundamental basis of our the theft of our spiritual foundation, and then of course the political charade that's going on, to reveal that political charade, and not to give it any energy, because it's a diversion. What's happening in the sky? All of our sky watchers are checking out, and then what it's ultimately going to do to us. That's all that really counts now. Everything else is diversion. To be prepared inwardly and then externally for family, because we're about to go for a roller coaster ride that is going to be rough. So thank you, Sandra. So Gamaliel's interview with Joseph and Mary and others concerning Yeshua. So the Hagiographa, or the sacred writings, found in Sophia's mosque at Constantinople, made by Gamaliel, obviously was transferred there after they took down the temple in 70 A.D. The writings may have ended up in the library of Caesarea, Syria, for a time before they made it to Constantinople. But the sacred right. Let me turn off my air conditioner. It's too loud, and I'm wanting to talk louder for that. Hang on. Thank you. Well, it's not as hot over here as it's been in a lot of other places. We're having a little cool spell. Okay, so continuing. The sacred writings found at the Library of Sophia in Constantinople, made by Gamaliel, in the Talmuds of the Judeans. It seems Gamaliel was sent by the Sanhedrin to interrogate Volshaf and Mare in regard to this child, Yeshua. And he says, I found Volshaf and Mare in the city of Mecca, in the land of Ammon and Moab, but I did not find Yeshua. When I went to the place where I was told he was somewhere else, and thus this is how I followed him from place to place, until I despaired of finding him at all. Whether he knew that I was in search of him, and did it to elude me, I cannot tell, though I think it most likely the former was the reason, for his mother says he is bashful and shuns company. I doubt if bashful would be the right word. Might be more like solitary. Volshaf is a woodworkman. He is very tall. His hair looks as though it might have been dark auburn when young. His eyes are gray and vicious. He is anything but prepossessing in his appearance, and he is as gross and glum in appearance. He is but a poor talker, and it seems that yes and no are the depth of his mind. Maybe that's because they're too intelligent. I am satisfied he is very disagreeable to his family. His children look very much like him, and upon the whole, I should call them not contemporaneous. I asked him who were his parents, and he said his father's name was Yaakov, and his grandfather was Methuselah. He did not like to talk on the subject. He is very jealous. I told him that we had heard that he had had a vision, and I was sent to ascertain the facts in the matter. He said he did not call it a vision, but called it a dream. He said after he and Marie had agreed to marry, it seemed that something told him that Marie was with child, that he did not know whether he was asleep or awake, but it made such an impression on his mind that he concluded to have nothing more to do with her. And while he was working one day under a shed, all at once a man in snowy white stood beside him and told him not to doubt the virtue of Marie, for she was pure before Yahweh, that the youth conceived in her was not by blood of the earth, but by the only true anointed pure great breath of light on the wind and wings of fire throughout all time, the holy breath, and that the youth would be free from earthly lower passions. In order to do this, he must, that is, his humanity must be of the extract of Alma, that is the Hebrew word for virgin or pure, that he might endure all things and not resist, and fill the demands of the navigators of the predictions. He said the royal messenger told him that this child should be great and should rule the kingdoms of this world. He said that this child should set up a new kingdom wherein should dwell the perfection of light and the shalom of eternal peace, and that the royal domain of this world, which should oppose him, the great Elohim, would utterly destroy. I asked him, how could a virgin conceive of herself without the germination of the male? He said, this is the work of Yahweh, who is the great Elohim. the eye, he has brought to life the womb of Elizabeth. So she had conceived and will bear a son in her old age, who will go before and tell the people of the coming of this royal Malik, royal messenger. After telling me all these things, he disappeared like the melting down of a light. I then went and told Marie what had occurred, and she told me that the same royal messenger, or one like him, had appeared to her and told her the same things. So I married Marie, thinking that if what the royal messenger had told us was true, it would be greatly to our advantage to obey. But I am fearful we are mistaken. Yeshua seems to take no interest in us, nor anything much else. I call him very casual and carefree. I do not think he will ever amount to much less be a royal Malik. I think they're trying to dissuade this interview, okay, because obviously they would want to protect their privacy. And so I think that's why this translation is going this way. I do not think he will ever amount to much. If he does, he must do a great deal better than he has been doing. I asked him how long after that interview with the royal Malik before the child was born. And he said he did not know, but he thought it was 7 or 8 months. I asked him where they were at that time. He said in Bethlehem. The Roman commander had given orders for all the Judeans to go on a certain day to be enrolled as taxpayers. Oh, we love that taxation. Yeah, give me some more, baby. And he and Mary went to Bethlehem as the nearest place of enrollment. And while this babe was born, I asked if anything strange occurred there that night, and he said that the people were much excited, but he was so tired that he had gone to sleep and saw nothing. He said toward day there were several Amin Kolnun priests came in to see them and the babe and gave them many presents. And the news got circulated that the youth was to be a royal Malik, royal messenger of the Judeans. And it created such an excitement that he took the youth and his mother and came to Moab for protection, for fear the Romans would kill the youth to keep it from being a rival to the Romans. I discovered that all of Volshaf's ideas, Joseph's ideas, were of a selfish kind. All he thought of was himself. Marie is altogether of a different character. You know, and even Gamaliel could be in on this. And if he recognized this was the Mashiach, he would even want to protect him. And so that's why this, contrary statement, I think, is in the document. Mary is altogether all a different in character, and she is too noble to be a wife of such a man. She seems to be about 14 years of age, abounds with a cheerful and happy spirit, and is full of happy fancy ideas. She is fair to see, rather fleshy, has soft and innocent looking eyes, and seems to be naturally a good woman. I asked her who her parents were, and she said her father's name was Eli, and her mother's name was Anna. Her grandmother's name was Penuel, a widow of the tribe of Asher of great renown. I asked her if Yeshua was the son of Volshaf, and she said he was not. I asked her to relate the circumstances of the child's history. She said that one day while she was grinding some meal, there appeared at the door a stranger in shining raiment, which showed as bright as the light. She was very much alarmed at his presence and trembled like a leaf. But all her fears were calmed when he spoke to her, for he breathed, Mare, you who are loved by the great Yavohe, and the eye, he has sent me, the mother's eye, to tell you that you will have a pure seed, that this seed will be great and rule all nations of the earth. She continued, I immediately thought of my engagement to Volshov and supposed that that was the way the youth was going to come. But he astonished me the more when he told me that cousin Elishabeth had conceived and would bear a son, whose title would be Yalkanan, which means the father comes quickly. And my son would be called Yashulanva, Yeshua, Joshua, commonly known as Jesus. This caused me to remember that Zechariah had seen a vision and disputed with the royal messenger, and for that he was struck with dumbness, so that he could no longer hold the priest's office. I asked the messenger if Volshaf knew anything of the matter. He said that he told Volshaf that I was to have a youth by command of the only true anointed pure great breath of light, the pure breath, the Holy Spirit, and that he was to redeem his people from their blindness and was to reign over the entire world, that every blood of the earth should confess before him, that he should rule over the kings of the earth. I asked her how she knew that he was a royal messenger, and she said he told her so, and that she knew he was a royal messenger from the way he came and he went. I asked her to describe how he went away from her, and she said that he seemed to melt away like the extinguishing of a light. I asked her if she knew anything of Yalkanan the herald, John the Baptist, and she breathed that he lived in the mountains of Judah, the last she knew of him. I asked her if he and Yeshua were acquainted or did they visit, and she said she did not think they knew each other. I asked her if at the time this royal messenger, as she called him, visited her, she was Alma, that is, a virgin. And she said she was, and that she had never showed to blood of the earth, revealed herself to blood of the earth, nor was known by any blood of the earth. I asked her if she at that time had maintained her forket, which is like, I think, saying, the what we call the cherry. And after making her and Volchev understand what I meant, they both said that she had, and Volchev breathed this was the way he had of testing her virtue. I asked her if she knew when conception took place, and she said she did not, but I can interject because, according to legend, it is through the hearing. By hearing, she conceived because she trusted that what she had heard was true. I asked her if she was in any pain in bearing or in delivering this youth, and she said none of any consequence. I asked her if he was healthy to give me a description of his life, and she said he was perfectly healthy, that she never heard him complain of any pain or dissatisfaction. His food always agreed with him, that he would eat anything set before him, and if anyone else complained, he would often say that he thought it good enough, much better than we deserved. She said that Volshaf was a little hard to please, but this boy had answered him so often, and his answers were so mild and yet so suitable, that he had almost broken him of finding fault. She said he settled all the disputes of the family, that no odds what was the subject or who it was, one word from him closed everybody's mouth. And what gave him such power was his words were almost unpretending and spoken as though they were not intended as a rebuke, but merely as a decision. Just like a king, a royal ruler, Malik. I asked her if she had ever seen him angry or out of order. She said she had seen him apparently vexed and grieved at the disputes and follies of others, but had never seen him angry. I asked her if he had any worldly aspiration after money or wealth or of a great name, and or did he delight in fine dress like most of the youth. And she said that was one thing that vexed her. He seemed to take no care of his character. He um, did not care whether he was dressed or not, or alike to him, or it was all alike to him, or whether I'll try that again. He did not care whether he was dressed or not, or whether the family got along or well or ill. It was all alike to him. She said he talked to him about it, and he would look at her a little grieved and say, "Woman, for such has always called me, you do not know who I am." Indeed, she said he takes so little interest in the things of the world and the great political question of the day, that they were beginning to despair of his ever amounting to much, much less be a royal Malik, as the royal Malik had breathed that he would be. If so, he would have to act very differently from what he was acting at that time. I told her that the Udean doctors contended that the amorous disposition is peculiar to the male. I asked her if she had ever seen in the private life of Yeshua any signs of such disposition. She said she had not. I asked if she saw him in any particular fondness for female society, and she said she had not. If anything, rather the contrary, that the young Bethul, the word in Hebrew for young women, were all very fond of him and were always seeking his company, and yet he seemed to care nothing for them. And if they appeared too fond of him, he treated them almost with scorn. He will often get up and leave them and wander away and spend his time in meditation and prayer. He is a perfect ascetic in his life. And I'm going to just take a musical interlude here and recharge, okay? That gives you 3 minutes if you got to do something. And then we'll finish the research by Gamaliel. You are tuned in right here to the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the broadcast. And hope you're all doing okay this evening wherever you are around the world. And our world is going down in flames, and it's a sad, sad story. Wrong people are running the show, and we're all paying the price for it now. So continuing, so he is perfect ascetic in life, and we're reading out of the Arco volume, and it is a collection of the writings that were surrounding the story of Yeshua, coming from various sources, but the interviews by priests. They knew that the Messiah had come when he was born. They saw all the signs. They wrote down all of it. Okay, they had it. When I see how the people like to be with him, and asked him the question, and seemed to take such delight with his answers, both men and women, it almost vexes me. They say, there is a young woman in Bethany, excuse me, whom he intends to marry, but unless he changes his course very much, he will never be qualified to have a family. Excuse me. But I do not believe the report. He never seems to me to care anything about women when he is in my presence. This is how it seems that Volchaf and Marais have both lost all confidence in his becoming anything. They seem to think that the Sanhedrin should do something for him to get him out and let him show himself to the people. I tried to console them by telling them that my comprehension of the predictions was that he had come to the high priesthood first, and that their work in the spiritual dominion of the heart, and when he had brought about a unity of heart and oneness of aim, it would be easy enough to establish his political claim, and all who would not willingly submit to him, it would be an easy matter with the sword of Yeshua or Gideon to bring under his control. It seemed to me that his parents' ideas are of a selfish character, that they care nothing about the Judean government nor the Roman oppression. All they think of is self-exaltation and to be personally benefited by their son's greatness. But I told them that they were mistaken, that the building up of the kingdom of the Son, of the royal house, was not to be done by might or by power, but by the Spirit of Yahweh. And it would not do for us to use carnal weapons, nor to expect carnal pleasures to be derived therefrom, that it was not my comprehension of the predictions that this royal Malik was to use such weapons either for himself or for the benefit of any party, but for the perfection of all men, that his dominion is to be universal, omniversal, and that it is to be of a spiritual character and nature, that he has sent to the lost. He was sent to the lost and not to the found. His parents told me of an old man who lived on the road to Bethany, who had once been a Amen Konun priest, a blood of the earth of great learning and well skilled in the pure shelter and the doctrine and in the navigators, and that Yeshua was often there with him reading the pure shelter of the Trevane law and the navigators together, that his title was Masalan, and that I might find Yeshua there, but he was not there. Masalan breathed. Yeshua was at Bethany, visiting with a young family, and he thought there could be some love affair between him and one of the girls. I asked him if he had seen anything like a courtship between them. He said he had not, but inferred from their intimacy and from the fondness of the woman's part, as well as from the laws of nature, that such could be the case. I asked him to give me an outline of the character of Yeshua, and he breathed that he was a young man of the clearest thoughts and feelings he had ever seen in his life, that he was the most skilled and tuned in his answers and solutions for any difficult problem of any blood of the earth of his age that he had ever seen, that his answers seemed to be filled with a universal common sense, so much so that the oldest philosopher would not dare to dispute with him, or in any matter to join issue with him, or to challenge him the second time. I asked Massillon who it was who taught him to read and interpret the law and the navigators, and he replied that his mother breathed that he had always known how to read the pure shelter and the written law, that his mind seemed to master it from the very beginning, and into the laws of nature and into the relationship of blood of the earth he could be to his fellow blood of the earth, his teachings or talks. He gave a deeper insight, inspiring mutual love and strengthening the common trust of society. Another plan he has of setting men right with the laws of nature. He turns nature into a great law book of illustration, shows that every bush is a flame, every rock is a fountain of water, every star a pillar of fire, and every cloud the one that leads to Yahweh. He makes all nature to speak out the doctrine of trust within the divine fatherhood. He speaks of the lilies as pledges of Yahweh's care and points to the birds as evidence of his watchfulness over earthly affairs. Who can measure the distance between Yahweh and the flower of the field? What connection is there between blood of the earth and the lily? By such illustrations, he creates a solicitude in blood of the earth that seems to awe him into reverence, and he becomes attracted towards higher thought and feels that he is in the presence of the one that is superior. In this talk, he brings one to feel he is very near the presence of Yahweh. He breathes, "How much more your Father?" The plane is one, though the intermediate points are immeasurably distant. Thus, by beginning with the flower, he reasons upward to the absolute, and then descends and teaches lessons of trust in a loving Father, the lessons of trust in the divine presence of Yahweh, the anxious listener, and creates an appetite that makes him long for more. And it often seems that when he has brought his hearers to the highest point of anxiety or ecstasy, he suddenly breaks off and leaves the company as though he cared nothing for them. Yeshua in his talks brings all these illustrations to make man feel his nearness of kindred. And I'm going to, I think, put it right there. This is about halfway through it, and I'm feeling it on my voice right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you have anything you want to say real quick, there's still time. I'm feeling it in my voice, and I think I need to possibly shut it down at this point. So unless you've got a great live history you want to share, or a comment or a question, then we're going to hold this till tomorrow, the cliffhanger, okay? A very profound, what do you want to call it? Eyewitness account of the quality of character within Yeshua, and it's this is from the local records, that would have been probably in Bethany, most likely, but maybe up in I'm not sure. It's one I've got to go read all this content again. I just periodically I share it with friends, like I'm reading here tonight. And these are some of the greatest stories. I read the letter of Pilate to Tiberius, and it's an absolute mind blower. That's on one of the first programs I did, so go back and listen, okay? And well, don't forget that tomorrow night we've got Melody Gillespie and Mel's Bar and Grill, where she cooks up those attorneys and puts them on a spit, and we spit them out when we're done with them. And thank you, Ninja, praying for my throat. I appreciate it. I need to get some of that good nutritional in my body, and I think that'll help. We just our bodies break down, after a certain point. So I guess we've done enough damage for one night. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. And if we have any prayer requests or any announcements, you can call in just to do that. You can give out a website if you want to share. Okay, so just be aware of that. I'd like you to be able to give out your any important information for anybody to benefit from. Okay, and starting tomorrow night, we're going to be doing some of our activist stuff again. Thank you, Rod. Yeah, I've done a little bit of I hated homework, but I've done a bit of it to get here, and hard knocks. But thank you for that, Rod. Very good. And I'd like to know more about the Giants. If you ever want to tell us what you're learning about the Giants around here, maybe we can do a short interview with you. So just let me know. Keep me posted, okay? And we got friends tuning in from around the world. It's really, really exciting to see so many people from so many different parts of the world. We're all the same. They try to make us into enemies every now and then, and yet we're all the same. We want peace and love and happiness and prosperity for everybody, and no suffering. And then we got these psychopaths running our world. Thank you, Ninja. And so let's wrap it up with a song, shall we? And we'll be back at it tomorrow, 9 a.m., Heavenly Father willing. And, okay. What? No worries, Sandra. And this will probably be the lost broadcasting series I do. That's the way I see it, ladies and gentlemen. All the signs are here that we're at the very threshold, the very edge of the great cliff. Tribe of many colors. Hey, good to have you, Rod. Thank you. And all right, so tell your friends about the broadcast. Go back and listen to the premiere starting June 21st. Get your ear filled with some things you haven't heard before. Thank you for coming back, Lynn. Hope your week went well. And so just don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Desert Owl telling you, thank you, Sandra. Don't forget, if you want to know the future, just look for the Forbidden History, because it's all right here. And thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Jedi. Good night. good night, Lou the cat, and all of you.